Hi everyone, welcome to Filipino Time. I am your host Francis, and we are with our friend here, Paolo Guiao. And as you can see, he's a watch guy. Obviously, he's here. He is a admin for the Rolex Club of the Philippines.
That's right.
And he's here to show us a few very interesting pieces. So, Pao, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Where do you want to start?
Well, we could say the one that started it all, no?
Okay.
That is a Rolex Precision. So just because I am an admin of the RCP or Rolex Club of the Philippines doesn't mean, if looking at the stash here, it's not just Rolex I'm into. But I'm going to start with for my first Rolex, not necessarily my first watch, my first Rolex.
And it's very interesting because most guys with the first Rolex, it would be like a Datejust or something their dad gave them. Right. This is a bit, obviously, off the beaten track.
Right, definitely. A Precision manual wind. Well, back then, probably 08, 09.
Okay.
Well, I didn't want to spend too much on a watch, so it was a fairly decent price.
Yes.
I picked that up actually in Mangandi's place. If a lot of people should know where Mangandi is. That's in Cinema Square.
Yeah.
I hope by now he's still there. Right?
Well, if you guys don't know, he's a watchmaker and he's a friend to a lot of watch collectors, and obviously
that's where we all started. Yeah, our B-Shaw started there. Together with our Unique B-Shaw. Yes, I'm a part of Unique B-Shaw as well.
There you go.
One of many owners.
There you go.
So actually, well, we can talk about Unique B-Shaw some other time. Let's talk about this watch.
Yeah, and the unique dial.
Yes, there's a UAE crest on it.
Yep.
That is, I got that. It only had an aftermarket bracelet.
Alright.
The dial itself had the UAE crest on it, and it was boy size. I remember Mang Andy, he was like, "Oh, uwi mo muna. Huwag mo muna bayaran." So I was like,
wow.
I know, right? I was a new guy there, he just lent it to me without like asking for money, right?
You got screwed.
I really did. That's how it all started. The whole thing. That's exactly how it started.
Yeah.
I never owned a Rolex, right? As I said, this is my first Rolex, not necessarily my first watch.
Yes.
I was actually very much into my Omegas then.
And so one of them, I found this really interesting. It's an alarm watch.
Yes,
Memomatic.
it is. Memomatic.
Yeah.
One of the rare Memomatics that it's the Tourneau case.
Mm-hmm.
Still unpolished. It's actually a family watch. It came from a family member.
Okay.
And I got it back and running probably a few years back, and that actually keeps a lot better time than some of my other watches.
Really?
It actually does. Yeah. After the service, it does keep time really well.
I really like. I'm a sucker for gray and orange.
Yes.
I have a pair of green orange sneakers from my
Yes.
brother that I love too much actually.
Yes.
But one of the things that caught my eye actually was if I look at the polish marks, it's actually in a radial.
Yes,
it's kind of like
a sundial. There's like a
like a sunburst
pattern,
yeah,
which is standard to that watch and some other of their Omega watches. That's why, of course, you don't necessarily want to polish it down by anybody.
Absolutely. Or in general.
In general. I as far as I know, it's only Omega's factory who can do it as fine and as crisp as it is. Through the years that it's been around since the 70s, unpolished, but you still see the sunburst, right?
It looks actually it's against the light. Holding it here, you guys will have to, even in the pictures, you'd have to see it move against the light to really appreciate it.
Right.
And another Omega. You were saying you love Omegas, and here's another one.
Yes, of course. Everyone's familiar with the Speedy. The professional moon watch that went on the moon.
Yep.
Allegedly, first. No, what it really was about. That really depends on how.
No. We're talking about the automatic chrono. That's a different one.
That's a different one.
Yeah, it wasn't first on the moon.
It was.
Yes.
Right.
But it was a manual one. There you go. Okay.
Good. All right.
Anyway, we digress.
Right.
We are watch nerds. I apologize to the guys who are looking for the typical story. We're watch nerds. Sorry about that. Or at least I pretend to be. So going back, the broad arrow.
The broad arrow. So
yes.
This came around mid 2000s or
yes.
probably just before 2005, 2006, right?
Okay.
It's something not standard to see a moon phase or like that other subdial on the Speedy, which I like. Although this did start in the 80s with plexi dial black moon phase.
That's right.
I like the fact that it has a sapphire crystal, it has a white gold bezel, and then it's off blue and it's that wide, broad arrow like they did way back when.
Yes, that's right. Actually, you know what? I was gonna say it's got quite a bit more heft to it than I have a moon watch.
Yes.
And a lot more heft than I guess the white gold bezel.
Yeah, I think it's the white gold bezel that does the heft to it, because I think adding another gear and
of course extra complication.
Complication won't be so much.
But like you said, I really like it's got a very interesting dial, very different, despite the fact that the very familiar
Yes.
Speedmaster silhouette.
Exactly, and it has a date, which I like. A lot of Speedies,
Yes.
except for the newer ones now, they
Yes.
don't have a date.
That's right.
But this still is manual wind, and it has a date.
Very, very cool. This one is a little bit, or a lot bit different from the others right now. The Ingenieur.
Yes, the Ingenieur itself. Well, this one, not a lot of people are familiar with the 3228. I think everyone's familiar with the regular Ingenieur, the more modern 3227.
Okay.
42 black dial.
Sure.
But
chunkier,
in-house,
yeah.
chunky,
Yeah.
right? It's heavy, it's chunky.
Yeah.
And the recent release of the 40
Yep.
which actually has an ETA movement in it. But what they don't know or don't even remember was IWC did release probably back in '08 for a limited run.
Okay.
This 3228, which is 40 rose gold markers off-white dial. And it did contain their peloton movement.
I see.
Right, so it is an in-house IWC, which not a lot of people.
I didn't know about.
So you don't see it out in the wild because some say they've only made 500 pieces, some say 1,000. Nobody really knows because it's never been numbered.
Sure.
So
I don't think it was meant to be numbered.
no, not
Yeah.
at all. I think it's probably a test market. We really don't know.
Sure.
But rose gold on white, really nice. Something I really, really like. It's one of my go-tos because it's easy. There's half that's simple. You can read it.
Sure.
It's one of those watches that you don't see often.
And actually, you said something very interesting about this. It's one of three Genta designs.
Yes, it actually is one of them.
And I had no idea there was a third. I really didn't.
Well, you'd have your AP, right?
Yes.
The Royal Oak.
Yes.
You'd have this one, this IWC
The
Ingenieur,
Patek.
and the Patek
Yes.
Nautilus. Yes. So
And looking at it closer now, you have the well, they're not screws, but you would have to see the markings that could have been screws or something like that,
Right.
and the shape of the case. Actually, it wasn't until you mentioned it to me that I even noticed those details.
yes.
So very, very cool. And I would hazard a guess that it might be, aside from the rarity, probably the most accessible of all the Genta designs.
Oh, definitely. The pricing of the IWC is much, much lower than the other two.
If you can find one of these.
If you could find it, well, at least the 3227, you see the black ones, you can get them.
Okay, there you go.
But these are much, much harder to come by, just because of the limited run.
Okay.
But the 3227, the black ones themselves, you can probably find it around the corner somewhere.
Well, you know what? I will actually be on the lookout because I find it a really interesting
really
story.
nice, yeah.
Very, very interesting. Now, back to our Rolex
Yes.
Club of the Philippines. I'm sure people are going to be expecting us to talk about Rolexes all
Yeah.
throughout. You've maybe surprised a few of them here and there. I want to talk about this Zenith and what makes it special for you.
Well, this one actually, when I got this many years ago in Hong Kong, we got this from the first owner, box and paper. So, and this one he actually used on a daily basis. When I got it then, no one wanted to touch it because it was just so beat up, and no one I was thinking of selling it actually.
Really?
Back then. Yeah, because no one. It's like. The Daytona. You just wouldn't buy one. It was all over the place. You buy and sell it.
Sure.
But
how long ago was this?
2011, 2010. That's
Long
right.
before the hype.
Long
really
before the
started,
hype.
yeah.
Yeah, long before the hype. Because
Sure.
they were really all over the place.
Yeah.
But some of my other friends just said, why don't you just try to give it a light polish somewhere? So
Yeah.
I sent this off to the States and had it lightly polished. And I'm really happy how it turned out.
Actually, from the stories you told me, I really would not believe that it's the same watch.
From how it was.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
no, definitely. If you saw it back then, like all these polished portions, even the bezel themselves. Those were all like matted out from all the use. There was not a single bit of shine to any of the supposed parts that are supposed to be polished.
Really?
Zero. So that's why it's like, everyone's in nagugula. It's like, oh, that's like a really used watch, like a really nasty looking watch, But for some people, they think it's a beautiful, ugly watch.
Well, you know what? There's guys who like patina, and there's guys who say that a watch that wears its years
Yes.
is an honest watch.
Right.
And I can totally get behind that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's nice to find it from the first one. Like I remember there was actually another Datejust that I had.
Okay.
The usual vintage Datejust
Sure.
with the Jubilee bracelet.
Okay.
And
Which at the time was the fashion.
at the time was a fashion, but it was still a vintage piece which I got a few years ago, which I sold off to a friend now. I remember when I got that also from the first owner, and I don't know what the story is there.
Okay.
It was a first owned watch went through a reseller.
All right.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
When I got it, there was like cement inside the
Cement?
Yeah, it was completely.
It's a contractor's watch.
It could have been, or it could have been, the guy who just pours the damn cement on it, like the one who works on the road.
He must
really
have.
don't know.
Who pays a?
Right. No, but
He must have made a really good living pouring cement on that
really,
watch.
like, let's say it's all from Hong Kong, right?
Okay.
So the Hong Kong Chinese in general, it's like a lot of them through the years.
Yeah.
They really just want to save up.
Sure.
They just want to get a Rolex.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Which good on them. That's really that's like their main goal. It's like I want to get the.
Mr. Cement, Mr. Guys, good on you. You did well.
Yeah, he really did well because whatever it was like there was cement in it. It was so like I remember I had to remove the bracelet and like put it in some solution to get rid of that for days and until I could actually like scrape it off and then
Really?
yeah and then
Wouldn't that damage the seals or?
I was for as long as the steel doesn't. Well, there's no seal. No, not the watch. I'm talking about the bracelet.
Oh, just the bracelet. I'm
right?
sorry.
Because it was
just
a
the bracelet.
Jubilee.
Yes.
It was a Jubilee bracelet.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, just the
let's say
bracelet.
cement, and so I just for as long as it didn't melt down the steel,
Yes.
I think it was okay. And it turned out really nicely. I think my friend still owns it. Hopefully, he still does it. But when you cleaned out, we changed the crystal. It was still a beautiful dial that was in it. Nothing was screwed. Through age. But of course, it didn't work. Service it again through Miami back then. Everything was fine.
Wow. And so this is one of those things where they say from coal to diamond, diamond from coal.
Coal to diamond, carbon diamond,
Yeah,
You can say
something like
from the rough to
There you go.
diamond. That's like a
So I'm
diamond
sorry.
rough.
Yes, there you go. Diamond
was a
rough.
diamond
There you
rough,
go.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so those two pieces were diamonds in the rough. I would definitely agree.
And then you're saying that this is like your favorite go-to
This is
right
actually
now.
no, actually for years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this
Go on
is
now.
not just
All
right now. It's really like if I just want to go around, for
Sure.
example, and other than these watches,
Sure.
I'll definitely just pick up this watch. The GV is well, it's a very understated watch.
Yes.
I'm not gonna go and be flashy with my watches.
Sure. Other than the lightning bolt.
Other than the lightning, which
I find really cool.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's the thing I
It's
love
so not
about-
Rolex.
Exactly. It really isn't. I mean, you want to make it look like as simple as a Datejust, although it's not a Datejust, it's still a sports watch.
Sure.
What makes it a sports watch? It's a Milgauss one. Because it
Anti-magnetic, yeah.
It withstands magnets.
Yes.
What's the fun in that? Like, to be honest, I really don't know. No matter other than the
And
fact.
that's why they put the lightning bolt to add a little bit of fun to the story. There you go.
It is that is beautiful.
It is.
Not necessarily their best seller. They made something funky, right? They put the green glass on it.
Yep, with the orange. and then the matte
Right.
the matte finish of the dial.
Right, they had the white one, they had the black one, but I
Yeah.
just really like it. This one. What else is nice with this watch? Not a lot of people know this. There are actually two marks on the dial. Two marks. I mean, two iterations of the GV.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Mark 1 and there's a Mark 2.
Yeah, you were telling me this, and actually,
Right.
this is not mine. For all you, this is I borrowed this particular watch, and you were saying that this would have been a Mark II, and you have a Mark 1.
Yes.
Okay.
If we notice the difference, no.
Sure.
Let's talk about the Milgauss itself, or
Yeah.
the word, no. So the older one, all the orange, that's Milgauss. It's actually not as bold as what you have on right now.
Yes.
Right. That's one, and then it's
Yes.
a little.
The spacing is a little
the
bit.
spacing is different. Let's say actually the Oyster Perpetual made it wider as well, right? They made it more broad.
Yes.
Thicker, and then all the numbers on the side are actually much more bold.
Yeah.
I guess so. It's legibility. So
Yeah,
to
that makes
speak,
sense. Even this the superlative chronometer part, it looks a
Right.
little bit. I don't know if it's just me now, but it looks a little bit bigger.
Exactly, but if you go through all the forums or not, no one's really gonna notice it. No one's gonna talk about it.
Sure, and I had no idea. I mean, I really didn't.
So someone who started with vintage who was so specific to period correctness of a watch. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Like, what a lot of people don't understand is you can buy a watch, like you can buy a Rolex, you can buy a vintage Rolex.
Sure.
But the thing is, yes, all parts are original. right? But it's not period correct.
Okay.
What we're trying to say, it could have been a service dial.
Yes.
Service bezel.
Yes.
Service hands, right?
Sure.
It's not the one that it came out in the factory with.
You know, sadly, we had a
very different.
Yeah, exactly. And we had a guest not too long ago, and he had a beautiful Speedy Pro vintage, and took it to service.
Yeah.
Completely lost the original hand and dial, and it's just a shame.
It is a shame, especially nowadays that Rolex, let's say they don't give back your old parts.
Yes.
They just keep it.
Yes.
Back then, yeah, you were allowed to
keep your old parts. At least have the history with it.
Exactly. But nowadays, it's more like they'll show you, oh, this is what we replaced.
Yeah.
We're gonna take it back now, which is sad because yes, a lot of people they don't know. It's like, you know, they bring it to the center or they bring it somewhere. And it's like, oh, you want to make it look like new? Yeah, we'll make it look like new. But but they don't realize that a lot of them actually start. Or it would devalue the watch if you just change it. Let's say if you had tritium before and then turned to luminova, that does devalue the watch itself more than it does. You're spending a lot for the pieces already. You're spending for the dial, the hands, but you're also devaluing your watch, which is sad. And not a lot of people know that.
Yes.
So
well, it's very similar to the world of cars now. You know, we look for numbers matching. The chassis matches the engine.
Right.
You know, all that stuff. And I would imagine it's the same thing.
Exactly. It really is. Well, why we discuss that? For example, the iterations of this dial. Let's say years down the line, since nobody's probably noticed this yet, until someone comes up, oh, but Mark 1, Mark 2 made difference pala. Like, and
they're gonna say the Mark 1 is more.
Mark, they'll always be like, oh, Mark 1's the first one.
That's the one. Yeah. There you go.
So, but let's say it was released in 2000, 2009. Oh, but how come it has a Mark 2 dial on it? Because that never came around. It was probably a service thing, no? So and then it was like, then the nitty gritty of things.
Sure.
One other fun part about the Milgauss is it's probably, if I'm not mistaken, again, no, I really don't know the rest of the models right now. It's only you know how at 6 o'clock they had that little. I didn't bring my loop. You know when they have the micro etching.
Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. On the glass.
It's only the Milgauss that doesn't have it. GB.
Really?
It's only the GB doesn't have it. It's you won't see it. It shouldn't have it. The deep sea dweller, even with its 5 glass, would have it. All the newer models would have it.
Do you know was there a reason, or they just completely forgot?
I don't know. People were really thinking maybe they can't do it in a green glass. We don't know. I actually don't know.
That's actually interesting. I didn't think about that either.
If you look at the Milgauss, the GB specific, just the green glass, it's the only one that doesn't have the micro etching.
What year did the micro etching start? Do you know?
03 maybe? Probably around 03, 02.
That would cover a lot of watches then.
That covers
that's a lot.
That's a lot already. All the moderns technically. Almost all the moderns. So that's one of the few things.
All right. Well, I mean, aside from all the details and all that stuff, what I really find very, very interesting with all this stuff is really it's a very interesting mix.
It's a mix, exactly.
I'll be honest.
You just want to be well-rounded. Thing. Like, well, it really depends on how you are as a person. There's some people who are like, Rolex ka lang ako, gusto ko lang Rolex, right?
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I just wanted to be like a more well-rounded when it comes to, because there are other, like, an alarm clock on your wrist. Yeah, right? That's kind of cool. That's really cool. That's something that I don't think Rolex ever had an alarm clock.
Not that I know of.
Not that I know of, right?
Not that I know of.
I'd probably have to do my own research. But that's something. That's
well, the two-door. Actually, I just mentioned to an earlier guest.
The two-door did have
the advisor.
Yes, the advisor did
that's
have
actually one of my favorite watches. Not necessarily because of the alarm.
Right.
The aesthetic. I quite like it.
Right. But they never brought it into the.
I don't think so.
Because back then people were saying, oh, two-door, that's when they start off, and it's like the test market.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe it didn't make the cut. But, things like that. It's been a while since Rolex has had a moon face. It's what, Pantalones from way back when.
I don't even remember any.
Exactly. From way back when. They did have it. They did have a moon face, if I'm not mistaken. But since they don't have a more modern one, or at least one that I know I can bring to a watchmaker to fix.
Sure.
The Speedy. I mean, everything has its own history, which is something I really like. So it's just we also have our own swatches. I love swatch.
Sure.
I love Seikos.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's not just like just because a lot of people would say because you're an RCP admin, you probably just only have.
I'll be honest. Yeah, I was kind of expecting that.
Right.
No offense, but I was kind of expecting it.
True, but
I was preparing for it.
Yeah, but even with my co-admins, everyone I'd say is very, very well-rounded. Everyone has a piece of everything.
Sure.
From whatever it is they like. There'd be some other people that we know naman who are just chrono guys, and he was like, "I'm just a chrono."
There you go.
It's purely chrono, which is
Like
Michael's like, "This is not mine."
Like I said, I quite like it. With my limited funds, I've decided to specialize in what as what I said earlier, my wannabe race car driver self wants to project.
Well, those are really, really nice. Maintenance costs is the one where it might get you moving forward down the line. You know, I'm not saying it's gonna break down now, but maintenance costs also. Actually, Rolex maintenance, it's actually not bad at all.
No, not
here
at all.
in the Philippines, it's actually one of the cheapest places to have your Rolex serviced. I don't know why. Well, it's just
cover yourself up.
Yeah, definitely. Ang galing. I'm really like, you see, as I said early in the show, I did not like Rolex when I started this whole thing until I got this, and then it went.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah, it really did.
dun,
I mean,
dun.
you guys actually interviewed Mike DC.
Yes, that's right.
Sometime before.
That's right.
He actually had my second Rolex.
The nipple dial.
The nipple dial.
Yeah, you were saying
The
that's
nipple
right.
dial of Mike DC's was mine. Again, all from Mang Andy. So after this precision, a few weeks later, a nipple dial came into Mang Andy's hands.
Yeah.
And I said, can I take a look at it? And Mang Andy goes, "Oh, uwi mo."
Yeah.
So. And then
Got
that's
you
where
again.
got me again. Right? And then again, I said, sort of this, like, I'm never gonna buy Rolex. So happy with this, I'm never gonna buy another watch again. I'm so happy. Yeah, and a few weeks later, it became the nipple dial.
Okay, so I'm not gonna be crass and ask you how many you have or have had,
Right.
but I will ask, what would be next? It could be new, it could be old, it could be a vintage, it could be a modern, it could be from Baselworld, whatever.
You know what? Actually, there's so many new pieces that came out. No,
I won't force you to pick one, but go ahead and
the wait list of the modern pieces of Rolex. It's just crazy.
Yes.
It's really, really crazy. There
agree.
are some pieces that I am waitlisted for.
Sure.
Not just in this country. It can be in different countries as well. But I really don't know what it is that I'm gonna get next. I'm waitlisted for certain models, right?
Sure.
But which of those would come out first? I don't know. From which country? I don't know.
Okay, so if you could choose, I won't say one, maybe two or three maybe.
But no. But let's say if there's one piece off the top of my head that
Sure.
I'd be like, if that AD calls me, it's like it's
Sure.
available.
Sure.
It would really be a blue 5711 Nautilus from Patek.
Okay. We were talking about this a little bit earlier, but yes.
Yes, we were talking about it earlier, off camera.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to get one for many years, but I kept pushing it back.
Yeah.
Until now, prices are just crazy.
If you can find one.
If you can, actually, you can find one, but they're double the retail.
Sure.
Retail, let's say, is about 20,000 US.
It's closer to 45 now.
That's 45,
Yeah.
right? For something that's not discontinued.
Yep. Not a limited edition.
Not limited edition,
Yep.
right? And geez, it's just crazy. So of course, I'm not gonna go by twice retail value. It's
Sure.
not. I'm not that crazy into it.
Sure.
At the same time, you don't want to spend that much money into into that. So if there's one, let's say tomorrow if an 80 calls me, it would be actually that one.
Okay. And still not a Rolex.
I was gonna throw a disclaimer earlier, but but it's not necessarily. It's just it's just something that I've been wanting. A lot of people don't like it. Actually, the shape itself of the Nautilus, right? A lot of people will be like, "Oh, it's so ugly on the stand."
Okay.
But when we put it on somebody's wrist, it's actually super duper nice. It's like I remember when we saw it, I'm like Brad Pitt's wrist. Like, it was
It's gonna look anything look good on him.
Right? True,
Let's be
but it
honest.
looked so much more sexier on him. So it's like, I don't want one, right? It's something you'd want. So it's one of those things. Plus, I guess that would be a step towards collecting the Genta Trio.
There you go.
This, the AP, and then the Nautilus. So that's another line you'd go through.
There you go. And that makes sense.
It does make sense, right?
Yeah. And none of them are Rolexes.
Well, we'll never know. I mean, I do like the moderns now too. I said before I started with vintage.
Sure.
We went through when I say we, like me and my friends also went through a whole number of vintage Rolexes.
Yeah.
The reason being was back then we didn't have much money, so it's so much cheaper than getting a brand new one.
But even today, like a half decent precision.
Dude, it's crazy now.
Yeah,
it's crazy. As I said, we were buying the vintage red subs. We were buying our old 1675 GMTs.
Oh god,
and those prices were always like at least half of that of an original.
Sure.
Nowadays, it's double that of a brand new one.
Yes.
And we just don't know how that hype happened. Well, we have an inkling, but I don't necessarily don't know why it happened. We're not gonna talk about that now.
Sure.
But the prices are crazy. So there's such a big barrier to entry vintage pieces now. Because of the price differences. Like when we were getting to our when we were getting into the vintages.
Yeah. The previous vintage watches.
Yes, our previous vintage watches. The prices were very, very
reasonable.
Very reasonable, as I said.
Sure. I wouldn't say cheap.
I wouldn't say cheap. No,
reasonable.
No. It's very reasonable, right? It's within reach.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's why we kept buying, selling, and even back then we were so picky. It's like, oh, I don't want that. It's polished already. Oh, I don't want that one because the bezel was ganito ganyan. No, we were really so because there were so many choices too. Like let's talk about this before the eBay days where the people from Barangke downtown, when those people didn't know how to send it off yet.
Sure.
Right?
Or just all
buying my bulk and
sending
it Hong Kong. So it was always being dropped off in Cinema Square. And every day, there was a time we'd probably hang out there on a daily basis after work to come around. It's like, oh, it's new, and there'd always be something new, but we were so picky because there were so many. We had the right to be picky. Yeah, I don't want it because ganito. But there's always something to not want. But now that's so difficult to get these vintages.
You'll take almost anything. Really.
Exactly. I do have a digital watch as well.
Sure.
My girlfriend and I we wear our Garmins when we go out when we go outside of the country. Mainly because it tracks the number of steps, blah blah blah. Right? But that's we do have a digital watch, but we don't have an Apple Watch yet, or like one of the Samsung, the Gears.
Sure. Or the Tag Heuer Connect.
Sure, the Tag Heuer Connect, right? Sure. Even let's say if it was the Fossil with the
the new one.
Really
that's
nice.
right. Yes.
The look, because it's just that I'm not saying I'm not going. We could. There's something that we both like.
Sure.
Hoping the battery lasts much longer, right?
Yeah,
I can swim with it, and so on and so forth. But there still is an allure with the mechanical pieces, which is it's just like there's so many pieces in there, and it just works, and it looks so seamless. And you could say it's a little old school. That you always have to wear a watch. Because actually, a lot of people nowadays, like a lot of kids, they don't wear watches. Yeah. Right. Not at all. Except for that new Apple Watch, because Apple made it, right?
That's not really neat. That's not really neat.
No. But it's let's say before the Apple Watch, not a lot of people started. The kids, right? We just stopped wearing watches.
Sure.
It's sad because we have a cell phone. It's like but it call me old school. I don't care. But I really like the fact that someone's still wearing a watch.
Well, you know what? It's even since time immemorial. Wearing one of because even if you're talking about mechanical pieces, you don't need a moon face.
No, you don't need a moon face.
I mean,
no, not at all.
So it's not about the necessary the need, but it's the emotional connection. I think.
Emotional connection, just because if there's a full moon, then the emotions of some people would go haywire.
Okay,
what are you trying to say?
I told you I was not gonna get that. That's none of my business. But
yes,
right.
It's just a nice piece to have. It's not necessarily something you need. It's not like every day. That's why it's complicated. It's still a complicated watch.
Sure.
You put it around. It's like you take it out. You can be as anal as you're setting the time.
Sure.
Which you do. That's the point of the watch, right?
Sure.
But change the date. Some people don't anymore.
I don't.
Right?
Well, none of my watches have dates anymore.
Right.
So.
And then you have to set the moon face, which is actually the most difficult thing because at least here you can press it, but then you'd have to look at where the moon is, full moon.
Sure.
Then you look at the calendar, and then you start counting like how many is after that day. So it is a pain in the butt. But it's just you're right. The allure that it's there, emotional connection to it. I really like it. It's I don't know.
You know what?
Yeah.
You are speechless for the first time.
I am.
In this entire conversation. And I think that that's where the passion comes in, right?
There is a good amount of passion, not just with me, with all the rest of my friends. I mean, everyone did feed this. And that's not to say it's an addiction, but it's the passion. It's something that fuels it for the love of watches, and that's what we're all here. But this is what you guys are doing. It's just I'm glad that you guys started this thing actually,
and I'm glad you stopped by. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
Thank you, and I hope you come back.
Definitely. There might be some other pieces maybe we could discuss moving forward.
Yeah.
I just, to be honest, I don't know in which box they are in.
It's a good problem.
There are so much I really want to talk about. It's just I really can't figure out which box it's in. So.
Well, you know what? We'll save it for another time.
Yes, definitely.
And that'd be another really good time on.
Yes.
Pal,
for sure.
Thanks again. Thanks for coming by. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed this one as much as I did. And as always, please like and subscribe. Let us know if there was something here that you liked, didn't like, suggestions, questions about these watches. I will bug him personally to give your questions to Mr. Rolex Club of the Philippines over here. And thank you very much for watching. Take care.